Coming up on Sportsource, I catch up with two Athens area baseball standouts who will represent their state later this year in Omaha, Nebraska.
And I spoke with Prince Avenue Christian head baseball coach Alan Osborne about their hopes of repeating in 2024.
Plus, I go to Clark Central High School to talk to their assistant girls basketball coach about her outside passion and interests and how to impact the team. Sportsource starts now.
Welcome to Sportsource. I'm your host, Hank Tatum. Spring is almost here, but the ball is already flying off the bat. That's because our coverage kicks off with a must-see interview. Sportsource reporter Avi Young chats with Alan Osborne, the mastermind behind the reigning state champion Prince Avenue Christian Wolverines.
That's right, Hank. Riding the wave of their impressive 2023 season and electrifying state championship run, Prince Avenue Christian gears up for 2024. My recent meeting with Coach Osborne focused on navigating the challenge of high expectations and the team's determined pursuit of a back-to-back title.
We don't really talk much about repeat. We try to go out and just play our game daily, play the game of baseball. We don't worry about who we're competing against because the game's hard enough to play, and you start worrying about who you're playing, and then you kind of compound the game of baseball with somebody else, and it gets much more difficult. So we just go about it every day, and excuse me, and we just we try to prepare daily to beat the game, and that's exactly what we're trying to do every day.
So you have super high expectations, obviously, with been very successful the past few years since you took over. How do you guys kind of deal with these large expectations?
I mean, we stay grounded. I don't let them get too high. I don't let them get too low. You know, we feel really good about the talent that we have, the athleticism we have, the skill level that these guys have when it comes to playing the game. But we challenge them. We challenge them with a practice schedule every day that's very difficult. We don't let them rest.
Right.
In the aspect that we don't let them get too high, too low. We don't let them get too comfortable. And to be honest with you, we got a lot of good players here, so there's a lot of players pushing one another.
Right.
You know, when they push each other, you know, that makes my job kind of easy,
right,
or easier.
Yeah.
Because you know, the level of talent's pretty good here.
Right. So you coached at Wingate and also UGA. So what do you bring from the college game to high school baseball?
You know, the game of baseball is baseball. You know, we know how to play first, third. We know how to bunt coverage. You know, that game doesn't really change. But me bringing it to the college level, I would think it's probably more organization.
Yeah.
You know, in the aspect of being able to organize, you know, 30 dudes, you know, in high school, to make sure that they all catch the same amount of reps.
Yeah.
That we don't, you know, I don't discriminate between my JV and varsity. You're a part of our program.
Right.
And so, you know, if you're a freshman and you're not ready for varsity, you're on JV, you know, you catch the same amount of reps as Justin Hartwell or Andrew Gillespie, you know, a couple guys that are in the program and that are very good players. So, you know, on the college side of that, you know, I'd say organization. Obviously, we have huge contacts in our game. You know, when it comes time for recruiting and things like that, there's a lot of contacts between myself and Coach Guy, Coach Jones, Coach Ross that we can use to our advantage to send our kids on to the next level. So there's a lot to it. In the aspect, I think, things that we bring, but those are kind of the two most important things: organization, and then using our contacts from being in the college game to get our guys on to the next level.
All right. So finally, last question.
Ask me
what expectations or goals do you have this year, other than, of course, trying to repeat? Do you have any like personal team goals or?
Well, you know, you know, I'm kind of weird. We don't set a lot of goals. You know, we don't set individual goals. We talk about trying to be our best version of ourselves every day, as a person, human being, as a person, as a Christian, as a ball player. And if we can do that on a daily basis, you know, we're living up to a standard that the guys have created. You know, I kind of brought an idea here, but they set the standard. They set the standard in the way they go about it in the hallway, the classroom, the cafeteria, their social life, you know, off the field. And then when they come onto the field, you know, that good stuff, you know, permeates into their daily game. And they do a very good job with that, you know. Goal-wise, you always want to be the last man standing. That's our ultimate goal. But daily, we want to beat our game. We want to beat the game of baseball. And so it's hard enough to think about down the road in May when we haven't even played our first game. We go tomorrow night. So we just try to come out and be our best version every day, learn from our mistakes. Hopefully our mistakes don't repeat themselves, and we just go about it in a good manner.
Prince Avenue Christian opened their season yesterday with a 6-4 win over Gainesville High School. They look to stay hot today when they travel to face Wesleyan High School at 5:30. Back to you, Hank.
Thanks, Avi. We'll see if the Wolverines can build on past success this season. Moving into the next inning, a battle on the diamond between these two Athens teams, each desperately craving a win. I'm joined now by Sportsource analysts Lindsay Bornhorst and Elizabeth Hunter.
Clark Central has historically dominated the matchup against Cedar Shoals and will look to continue that tonight.
On the other hand, Cedar Shoals seeks to get back to the winning ways with a win against the Crosstown Gladiators.
Will this be another Gladiators victory, or will the Jaguars finally roar back? We preview the matchup after the break. Welcome back to Sportsource. The weather is getting warmer, pitchers and catchers have reported for MLB spring training, and first pitch nears. Tonight, the Clark Central Gladiators will meet the Cedar Shoals Jaguars on the diamond at 5:30. Lindsay, what makes this a must-watch game?
Well, Hank, despite both teams sporting underwhelming records in 2023, with Clark Central going 3-21 and Cedar Shoals at 5-24, an exciting matchup could still be in store and open to 2024. Historically, Clark Central has dominated the rivalry, winning 19 of the last 21 encounters. However, last season saw a split with each team claiming a victory on their home turf. This year, Clark Central will be looking to defend their 2023 season-ending 17-11 win and solidify their position as the top dog.
But you can't count Cedar Shoals out, given they claimed the dub outrunning Clark Central 9-5 earlier in the 2023 season. After talking with Jaguars head coach Cameron Hale, he said that the team's word for this year is confidence. Confidence has been lacking for Cedar Shoals since the program hasn't seen a winning record in over 15 years. And the Jaguars' confidence will need a boost heading into Friday's matchup after taking a 14-3 loss against Rockdale County on Tuesday. Senior Xavier Hardman was the leader on the mound with an earned run average of 1.75. He also had one of the runs scored against the Bulldogs, along with senior William Moye and Ben Montgomery. Coach Hale said that there were individual positives at bat, but that the team needs to throw more strikes and make more plays if they want to turn the tide for this season.
Thanks, Elizabeth. It seems like the Jaguars have some things to work on before tonight's game. Lindsay, how has Clark Central been looking during the first week of the season?
Honestly, Hank, the Gladiators haven't had the best week so far. On Tuesday, they fell to Hebron Christian 14-7, and last night they were knocked out 18-7 by the Oglethorpe County Patriots, bringing their record to 0-2. Although this is a shaky start to the season, the Gladiators have a secret weapon, leading me to believe they shouldn't be counted out for this Friday's matchup. Even though last season was head coach Jerry Boatner's debut with the Gladiators, this was certainly not his first or second rodeo. Before Clark Central, Boatner was a high school coach in Collinsville, Mississippi. In 2020, Boatner was inducted to the Mississippi Hall of Fame after winning the title of all-time winningest high school baseball coach in the history of the state. Now coaching alongside his son-in-law, Boatner intends to turn this Bad News Bears program around.
We're real young. We got 4 or 5 ninth graders playing, and we're really about a couple years away from really making an imprint or a dent in our schedule.
A major area of focus for Boatner this year has been pitching. He noted the team has still been inconsistent with it. He was disappointed after Tuesday's game when they walked 12 guys. Boatner urges his team to put faith in his value of discipline and trust his knowledge of how to win championships. Key players to watch out for in tonight's rivalry game will be junior pitcher Macon Davis and freshman pitcher and #1 hitter Casper Emery. Also leading the team are senior twins Alex and Chris Elderts Walker.
Cedar Shoals also has some aces up their sleeve headed into tonight.
We have 8 seniors, so these guys have been with us for 4, if not 5, some 5 years, so our experience is really helping us.
The experience of these 8 seniors is going to be a crucial part of tonight's game and the 2024 team in general. Jaquel Atkins and Anthony Johnson are hard hitters for the Jaguars, leading the team with a .5 and .33 batting average. For the defense, Xavier Hardman is going to have to stay in control of the ball as the team's leading pitcher. Ethan Oliver is also going to be really important to look out for in the field. Plus, Cedar Shoals has freshman duo Zach Pomeroy and Aiden Moon, who are proving themselves as vital players on defense with key catches in the outfield against Rockdale County.
Well, it's looking like this could be a tight matchup. Who do you think will take the cake, Elizabeth?
Hank, I'm going to give it to you straight here. Coach Hale took over the head coaching job only a month ago, following previous head coach Josh Campbell's quick leave. So with this unexpected change and having only one game to prepare before this big rivalry, I'm not sure that Cedar Shoals' home field advantage and star seniors will be enough to keep the Gladiators at bay.
Lindsay, what do you think?
Well, under the leadership of this well-seasoned coach with 14 state championships under his belt and rematch fuel in their veins, I think Clark Central is due for a dub. The win is in their favor as long as the Gladiators can replicate their preseason game pitching and follow Coach Boatner's guidance. However the cards may fall, tonight's game will be worth the watch. Here's what both head coaches had to say going into the matchup.
I'm nervous. I haven't been here very long, but it didn't take me long to realize that that's a real big rivalry, and they know each other, and they really get after it. So we're looking forward to it, and hopefully we can beat them.
There's always been a rivalry there, but to put it simply, we don't wear red.
Looks like the two head coaches are ready to go head-to-head, but we'll have to stay tuned for the outcome tonight. Back to you, Hank.
Two local Athens baseball players are slugging their way to national glory, not just representing their state, but their future school. The full story when Sportsource returns. Welcome back to Sportsource. The roar of the crowds won't even have quieted down from the College World Series before another championship takes center stage, the Geico High School Baseball National Championship Series. Kicking off June 27th, this tournament pits 16 elite state teams against each other in a battle for national bragging rights. This year, 2 local Athens players will represent Georgia. Sportsource reporter Evan Smoke joins us now with more.
That's right, Hank. Georgia will field its inaugural team this summer, and among its ranks are 2 local Athens standouts, juniors Cole Johnson and Judson Hartwell. Adding an exciting twist, both players have already committed to continuing their baseball careers at Georgia Tech, creating a unique opportunity to represent their state and future schools simultaneously. I recently spoke with Johnson and Hartwell to understand what it means to them to wear the Georgia jersey on this national stage. 2 Athens area juniors, Cole Johnson and Judson Hartwell, aren't just teammates on the upcoming Georgia High School Baseball National Championship team. They're future teammates at Georgia Tech. This unique chance to represent both state and future school has them buzzing with anticipation. Johnson and Hartwell will join 15 other talented players from across the state when they take the field in Omaha. While June's national stage beckons, both remain focused on the present. Hartwell leads the Prince Avenue Wolverines, the reigning 1A D1 champions aiming for a repeat. He already boasts a state title on his resume, but now adds state representative to his accomplishments.
I mean, it's awesome to be selected, It's something that, every kid wants to do, You grow up dreaming to go to Omaha, and you get the chance to do that. It's just really incredible. I hope we come out with the win.
Evan, he earned that right. He earned the right to represent Georgia in the National Baseball Championships in Omaha. His talent speaks for itself. His numbers speak for themselves. He's a very good player.
Cole Johnson, the other state representative, helped spearhead the Oconee County Warriors, who entered the season hungry after a quarterfinal appearance in 2023.
I'm very grateful that he was the one to nominate me and that I was selected to it. I was excited to represent the state of Georgia. We're about to play with some of the best players from the state and some of the best players from other states. So I represent the state well.
Cole is a dynamic player. He's going to be playing center field for us. Also pitch a little bit. He brings a big stick from the left side. A true competitor. Last year really proved himself in the heat of the battle as we made a run in state playoffs. But overall, just as a player, he's the real deal, and we're just thankful to have him.
Joining the Georgia team brings not only national exposure, but a chance to bond for the future Yellow Jackets.
See what he's feeling, because he was one of the first guys that approached me about, maybe going to Tech. He talked to me a little bit when I went to a camp there, me and him we talked a little bit before, and after I made that decision, he was very excited for me, and I'm looking forward to getting to know him.
Yeah, Justin Hartwell, I hadn't played with him personally, but I've been around him at camps and I've watched him play, and he's a great player. He's a big, strong player, very powerful stick. I've never seen him strike out. He's a very solid hitter.
Despite the thrill of the national stage, both prioritize leading their high school teams to victory. Johnson's Warriors chase a deep run in the 3A playoffs, while Hartwell's Wolverines aim to defend their 1A D1 crown. Reporting for the Carmichael Sports Media Institute, I'm Evan Smoke. Johnson will captain the Oconee County Warriors, who opened the season ranked 7th in the GHSA 3A preseason standings according to the Georgia Dugout Club magazine. Meanwhile, Hartwell and the Prince Avenue Christian Wolverines reign supreme as they open the season as favorites to win the championship as they set their eyes on the opportunity to repeat as GHSA 1A Division I state champs. Back to you, Hank.
Thanks, Evan. Here at Sportsource, we'll be closely following these exceptional athletes as they represent our state this summer. Now, we turn our attention to basketball, where love is in the air and on the court. Let's get romantic with some basketball duos, courtesy of Sportsource analysts Tori Newman and Sarah Sims.
Jefferson High's backcourt duo is stealing hearts with their on-court chemistry, reminiscent of a legendary Portland Trailblazers pair.
An Athens Christian set of brothers whose teamwork transcends genetics shows the power of brotherly love.
So buckle up as we celebrate Valentine's Day with some seriously impressive basketball pairs. Don't go away. Welcome back to Sportsource. On the heels of Valentine's Day, I'm sure everyone saw plenty of perfect matches. But there might not be a more important match than those on the court. And just like all Valentines, connection means everything. Sportsource analysts Tori Newman and Sarah Sims join us for their perfect matches.
Hank, forget just dream NBA duos like Shaq and Kobe or Jordan and Pippen. When it comes to dynamic partnerships, high school hoops has its own magic. Witness Jefferson High's backcourt stars Drew Williamson and Jaden Butts, who electrified the Dragons to an impressive 18-7 record. Their telepathic connection fueled an 8-4 conference run, narrowly falling short of a glory and nail-biting championship loss to Heritage on Monday. These two guards didn't just rack up points, they were the beating heart of Jefferson's success. Jefferson's offense revolves around two key players with contrasting styles. Williamson, the point guard maestro. He orchestrates the offense, leading in scoring with 15.7 points per game. His accuracy shines at 64% from the field and a respectable 36% from three-point range. Plays are designed to create open looks for him beyond the arc or leverage his ball handling in pick-and-roll situations. Butts, the mid-range menace. He thrives in the mid-range, attacking the basket and generating scoring opportunities through his defensive prowess. This season, he boasts 18 steals and leads the team in taking charges, according to Coach Morris. While primarily a mid-range threat, he's not to be underestimated from deep, shooting 35% from three, just behind Williamson. Their contrasting styles complement each other perfectly. Williamson's shooting opens up driving lanes for himself and others, while Butt's defensive pressure creates transition opportunities and disrupts opposing plays. This 1-2 punch makes Jefferson's offensive dynamic and difficult to defend.
What a pair those two make, Tori. Sarah, who's your perfect match?
Hank, just like Tori's perfect match, I've definitely got one too. There's nothing quite like the bond between siblings, and when that bond translates to the sports field, it can truly be magical. Take Athens Christian High School, Hampton and Harper Ford, for example. These brothers aren't just teammates, they're the perfect backcourt duo, with Hampton running the show at point guard and Harper lighting it up as shooting guard. Their on-court chemistry has been instrumental in leading Athens Christian to a stellar 15-9 record and a first-place finish in their region. Now they set their sights on to the playoffs, where their dynamic partnership could have power to even greater heights. The Athens Christian Eagles soar high on the wings of the dynamic brother duo, senior Hampton Ford and sophomore Harper Ford. Hampton, a force to be reckoned with, averages 18 points and 8 assists per game, leading the charge with his go-to playmaker skills and laser-sharp vision. Following close behind is his younger brother Harper, averaging 15 points and 3 assists, raining down fire with his impressive three-pointer prowess, both clocking in above 30%. But their stats only tell part of the story. What truly elevates the Ford brothers is their undeniable chemistry and on-court communication. They play with a similar aggressive style, pushing tempo and seeking score opportunities. Head coach Dan Lamp describes their connection as a bonus, highlighting their trust and tendency to prioritize each other on the court. More than just teammates, Hampton and Harper are the students of the game, constantly learning and growing. As senior Hampton leads by example, injecting confidence into his younger brother, Coach Lamp praises their dynamic, and Hampton teaches confidence and Harper just feeds off of it, pushing both to be unstoppable. This unstoppable force has propelled the Eagles to impressive heights. With Hampton at the helm and Harper by his side, Athens Christian looks poised to take flight in the upcoming season, fueled by the unique connection and talent of this remarkable brother duo.
Those are some impressive duos. Thinking about some of the best NBA pairs with All-Star Weekend looming, who do Williamson and Butts resemble most, Tori?
Well, Hank, the perfect match for this Jefferson pair is one of the more underrated duos who made a name for themselves in the Western Conference, Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum. More specifically, in the 2017-2018 season, the veteran guards headlined the Portland Trailblazers roster for 9 years, being drafted just a year apart from each other. Like Williamson and Butts, either can initiate the offense and both are dangerous from three. Lillard tends to score more in isolation and pick and roll, while McCollum works in more of a mid-range attack. Their time together never produced a championship title because both faced untimely injuries, which the Dragons can relate to. Play style aside, Williamson and Butts found themselves in a situation eerily similar to the Trailblazers in April 2018.
Tori, similar to the Trailblazers, what injuries prevented the Jefferson guards from a potential championship?
Williamson tore ligaments in his left shoulder in Jefferson's 66-60 loss to Winder Barrow on January 23rd, leaving him on the sidelines for 5 games left in the Dragons season. In their final outing against Heritage, Williamson made his return but was far from healthy. The Trailblazers had the same fate. Lillard sprained his ankle against the Mavericks with 4 games left in the regular season. He wasn't able to fully recover in time for the playoffs, and Portland was swept in the first round by the Pelicans.
Thanks for the comparison, Tori. Sarah, who's most comparable to the Ford brothers?
The perfect way to end this segment is finding the perfect match of the NBA duo for the Ford brothers, and that best match is Aaron and Justin Holiday, who played on the Indiana Pacers for the seasons 2019 and 2021. Both of these duos shared a time on the same roster at one point in their career. The Holiday brothers had an impressive record while playing with the Pacers, but better yet, they shared the same chemistry that the Ford brothers share. Even share the same positions, how much more perfect could it be? During the time on the Pacers, Aaron was the starting point guard who averaged 10.5 points and 3.1 assists in 22 minutes during his second season. His brother Justin, who came off the bench, scored 7.6 points and 3.7 rebounds in 25 minutes as part of the guard rotation. But just like any other duo, they have their individual strengths that make them stand out. Aaron is a consistent, polished three-point range shooter and finds his teammates just like Hampton. Justin is an aggressive defender who forces steals, and he is a consistent shooter from anywhere on the court. Each set of brothers are dependable in the game that they love. The brothers duo create the perfect atmosphere and the connection that must be shared on the court. This creates the chemistry that is needed to thrive and win games because of the trust that is built. Back to you, Hank.
Coming up on Sportsource, the Clark Central girls basketball team proves that basketball is far more than just dribbling and shooting. We dive deep into their success story, where coaches care more than just about wins and losses. Don't go away. Sportsource. Think basketball is all the Clark Central girls team does? Think again. These All-Stars are training for life. Sportsource reporter Micaiah Costin joins us now with an in-depth look at the Clark Central girls basketball coaches.
Thanks, Hank. The Clark Central girls basketball team has a good head on their shoulders as they not only navigate the court, but also recognize things they might thrive in away from it. The Clark Central girls basketball team isn't just aiming to slam dunk the season. They're also expanding their horizons beyond the court. With passionate coaches like Cassie Chantel and Carla Johnson by their side, these young athletes are learning valuable skills not just on the court, but also in life. Chantel, a former Gladiator herself, has returned to coach her alma mater, reigniting her own love for the game while inspiring the next generation.
I'm just now getting back into basketball, I would say, in the last year, because I tore my ACL in high school, so that kind of like just separated me from the game. I had a little resentment, but like over the last year, just focusing back on my own personal health, I've gotten back into basketball for that, and then through that, I've learned to love it in new ways by coaching like kids.
Coach Johnson, who connected with Chantel during a fundraiser for an anti-discrimination movement, saw her as the perfect mentor, offering both basketball, expertise, and a relatable perspective. But Johnson and Chantel aren't just focused on drills and plays. They understand that there's more to these girls than just their jump shots.
Well, she's really connected with the players, I feel, just building a relationship with them. Before games, she would go around and kind of get a feel for the players and help them with personal goal setting.
Chantel, a musician and photographer, encourages them to explore their individual passions and identities outside of basketball. She understands the social media landscape the girls navigate and uses it to showcase their talents and interests, not just their athletic prowess.
That's what the world is. The world wants to vlog and they want to journal and they want to just capture things. So I think we're on the same page when it comes to that, and I think they just see that and like gravitate towards it. And thankfully they've taken a interest in photography. I brought my camera up here sometimes and they'll start playing around with it. So slowly but surely getting them interested in new things.
Through her insightful guidance and Instagram techniques, Chantel provides a platform for the girls to explore other avenues and discover hidden talents. Whether it's music, photography, or something else entirely, Chantel is there to support them as they discover who they are beyond the basketball court.
When I didn't have basketball, I had other things to do. So basketball might not be your end-all, be-all. So what else do you like? And that's a way to discover it.
With coaches like Chantel and Johnson cheering them on, the Clark Central Gladiators are poised not only for basketball success, but also for personal growth and empowerment as they learn to build confidence, explore possibilities, and discover who the person is behind the athlete. Reporting for the Carmichael Sports Media Institute, I'm Micaiah Carlson. Both Coach Johnson and Chantel are providing the girls with stepping stones to go beyond their athletic careers. They'll be able to look back on their guidance years from now and hopefully come back, as Chantel did, to help develop the next generation. Back to you, Hank.
Thanks, Micaiah. It's powerful to see the direct influence coaches can have on young athletes and the impact they can make. Coming up next on Sportsource, analysts Olivia Bontempo and Lucas Kochevar join us to explore the coach at the helm of a new era for Georgia baseball.
That's right, Hank. Wes Johnson gears up to lead the Bulldogs into his first season of battle as the head coach.
What will Johnson bring to Georgia baseball? Find out next on Sportsource.
Welcome back to Sportsource, and a happy opening day from the University of Georgia. Georgia baseball has fallen below expectations in recent years, but starting today, 2024 may provide a jump start to the program with a new head coach laden with prior success. I'm joined by Sportsource analysts Lucas Kochevar and Olivia Bontempo for more. Lucas, what is Georgia getting with Coach Wes Johnson?
Well, Hank, fresh leadership arrives at Foley Field in the form of head coach Wes Johnson, ushering in a new era for Georgia baseball. But who is this man entrusted with the program's future? Johnson, an Arkansas native, boasts a coaching career dating back to 1997. He meticulously climbed the ladder, earning his shot at the prestigious SEC Conference in 2016. Mississippi State welcomed him as their pitching coach, where he helped starting pitcher Dakota Hudson mature into a first-round MLB draft pick. Though his stay was brief, a season later, the University of Arkansas called him home. There, he found immediate success, guiding the Razorbacks to a 2018 runner-up finish. The impressive turnaround caught the attention of Major League Baseball. In 2019, the Minnesota Twins recruited Johnson as their pitching coach. His impact was undeniable. Under his tutelage, starter Jose Barrios consistently delivered sub-3.5 ERAs, and the bullpen witnessed a collective breakout. Tyler Duffy, Trevor May, and Taylor Rogers all achieved career-best seasons with ERAs below 3. Rogers, the team closer, racked up 30 saves in 2019, contributing to the Twins' second-highest saves total in the MLB that year. But Johnson's influence transcended mere statistics. He instilled composure and resilience in his pitchers, even when challenges mounted on the mound.
He come to me and look in my eyes like, hey, you're the man, so believe in yourself. You are you are Jose Barrios, so you have to attack the hitter, believe in your pitches, and, that's what I did.
Despite leading the Twins to success, Wes Johnson felt drawn back to the college ranks. Mid-season in 2022, he joined LSU and guided the Tigers to a triumphant 2023 College World Series victory. During his tenure, Johnson coached Paul Skeens, the MLB's #1 overall draft pick, who shattered the SEC single-season strikeout record. LSU's dominance went beyond Skeens as they had led the conference in strikeouts while Georgia sat at 13th. With its pitching in need of a makeover, Georgia hopes Johnson can replicate his success and turn things around in Athens.
It sounds like the Bulldogs are getting a winner with plenty of experience in Wes Johnson. Olivia, what brought about the change for Georgia and what can be expected this season?
The Bulldogs finished the 2023 season 29-27 and said goodbye to head coach Scott Strickland. The Bulldogs now have to make strides this season under former LSU pitching coach Wes Johnson. After falling 9-0 to the South Carolina Gamecocks in the first round of the 2023 SEC tournament in Hoover, the Bulldogs did not move on to face the NCAAs. Despite a strong offense led by Charlie Condon and Connor Tate, who behind LSU's Dylan Cruz led the SEC offensively, the Bulldogs lacked consistent starting pitchers and depth, which proved to outpace their powerful offense. In a competitive league like the SEC, the Bulldogs will need to find power and consistency in pitching this season. In SEC play, the Georgia pitching staff combined for an ERA of 7.33, where their opponents saw a combined ERA of 5.7. When looking at the season as a whole for Georgia pitchers, they had stronger performances against non-conference teams with an ERA of 6.44 overall. The Bulldogs also combined for more strikeouts against non-conference opponents, sitting at 271 compared to a combined 236 strikeouts in SEC play. Liam Sullivan, a left-handed pitcher out of Atlanta, Georgia, proved to be an asset on the mound last season. With a career high of 11 strikeouts against the Princeton Tigers and a shutout performance against the Kentucky Wildcats, Sullivan struck out 75 and walked 33 throughout the duration of the 2023 season. The former Bulldog has now taken his talents to the Nationals organization after being drafted 375th in the 13th round of the 2023 MLB draft. Charlie Goldstein was another notable name that helped lead the Bulldogs throughout SEC play with an ERA of 4.31. The lefty that emerged in the thick of SEC play made 14 appearances, striking out 47 and walking 18. As the Bulldogs look ahead to their season opener this afternoon against UNC Asheville, some other names to look out for this season on the mound are Jarvis Evans, Colton Smith, Leighton Finley, and Chandler Marsh. They saw playing time last season and showed promise. When facing competitive SEC programs this season, it's important that Georgia continues to develop their pitchers. With Johnson's pitching expertise and the addition of several new pitchers to the staff, the Bulldogs can hope to do just that and build this team from the mound up. Back to you, Hank.
Thanks for the analysis, Olivia and Lucas. Georgia baseball begins its 2024 campaign starting today with the weekend series against UNC Asheville. That's all for us this week. It has been a pleasure to be your host, and the entire Sportsource crew thanks you for joining us on this Friday afternoon. We'll be back next week with a brand new edition of Sportsource, and we hope you'll join us then. From all of Sportsource, good evening and have a great weekend.